Hi guys, it's Keith with Arkenberg Farms here, and as you can see around me, winter's on its way. Well, maybe you can't, but let me show you. I'll take you over to a spot real quick and show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. Now this is what I'm talking about. See what's going on here? We got frosty lettuce. Can we get zoomed in on those crystals? Yeah, you see the little ice crystals coming off? The purple does it the best. Ooh, look at that one. I'm gonna take a picture of that as well. Now, this time of year, it's important for your lettuce to get a little bit of frost like this. Didn't hard freeze last night, probably got to just about 32. But this way it'll help the lettuce harden off. When we do get some good freezes, it'll be able to survive through it. Even the radishes will do it too. And they'll be just fine here in a couple hours. We can take you over to the Salanova bed. But of course it didn't freeze in there. Now on this bed, we actually have a poly low tunnel. But we didn't bring it up last night. The reason for that is, that lettuce is actually looking pretty good. It's still a little thin. But it's starting to thicken up nicely, and these heads are just beautiful. Since we've had temperatures that have fluctuated over the past, about 3 or 4 weeks now, in between afternoon 60s, and then overnight it's been getting down to 30s, not 30s, 40s, mid to upper 30s. We've already had one frost. And see, we still do have a little bit of disease in these beds. I'm working some of that out with compost right now. But the majority of the stuff, like that, looks awesome. That'll be awesome. There's a Tropicana. There's Mirror. More Tropicana. Cherokee. And of course, our Salanova. Don't need that frosty stick in there, though. But yeah, as the temperature fluctuates, we get a consistent fluctuation over the weeks. It'll actually harden off the lettuce. And in the hardening process, it builds up more sugars in the plant itself, so it'll be able to withstand even lower temperatures. And if we got, 28-degree temperatures coming, this will get covered. We'll pull our plastic over our hoops and have a nice little poly low tunnel. I mean, even the mustard greens, they'll bounce back. Just a light frost. Mine had gotten down to 32 last night. Let me show you some of the other beds. This is our other solution for cold weather. It's a caterpillar tunnel that I built. Pretty simple design. We got channel lock on the end bows. Used 10-foot sections of chain link fence top rail bent into the bows of the A-frame, and we stick a rebar dowel number 5, about 22 inches long, or no, they're 22 or 32, I don't remember. Pound it into the ground, leave it sticking up about there, and then you slide the bows over them. We've got these homemade clips that is just a washer for a bearing plate that you can buy from a lumber supplier. It's just a square washer with a 5/8 hole, and then a hole drilled in the corner, bent up with just a carabiner. Then you take your rope and you zigzag it across the tunnel from bow to bow. And that kind of gives it its caterpillar shape. That makes it easy to simply lift up the side and you can go right inside. We got nice crop in here. I am keeping it on the dry side right now. Less moisture in the soil also helps in the hardening off process. And this has been kept pretty warm, so it's all doing pretty good. Everything needs to be watered today because it's going to be real sunny. But the inside of this tunnel, up at the top, those are old. If you ever see those weird little carports, kind of look like a, almost like an A-frame. You got a 90-degree elbow that goes out 90 degrees there, and then it's got a piece that comes off the side there. So I just used another piece of top rail across the top to connect them together. So I got a solid ridge pole that way. And then my bowed arches, which makes it easy because I had to put a couple bends in it. I didn't have to bend the whole thing. And down at the end, because I'm tall, my headroom, chain link fence extender, top rail extender, and I put 16-inch extensions. That way I can fully stand up in it. Now over in this bed, we have everything under floating row cover. We got these two beds are under hoops because I believe they have lettuce in them. And these two beds over here are just laying directly on the crop. One's got radishes and one's got a brassica mix. We'll go inside and take a look at those real quick. The reason that these are covered during this frost is because they're actually still pretty small. And the one thing the cold and the frost will do is it actually slows down the lettuce. And see, those still have a lot of time to go before they are ready. They're probably good, 3 or 4 weeks out at this point. Probably the same thing over here. I think these are also heads. Yeah, they're a bunch of Tom Thumb heads. And we got other heads down the way there. But yeah, if you're ideal for winter, is get everything planted out in a block of when your last plant date is. This year, we didn't quite get those blocks going. Instead, we just carried on with the normal routine because we were too busy to get everything planted at once. The result of that is we got stuff underneath tunnels that needs to catch up. We got stuff in other areas that needs to slow down. Ideally, if you plant everything at once, then you can choose which beds you want to speed up and slow down by nights when it frosts. You just leave them open and that'll slow them down. Well, it's doing real good under there. And the ones you speed up, you want to cover. This technique works good on most stuff down to about 28, 29 degrees. Let me show you the other thing we've got set up. So on the inside, I've got full extension. I can reach right up to the top. I'm 6'3" tall, so we've got good headroom, good space. Even on the sides over here, if I move over, I get into it a little bit, but not horribly. I mean, that's standing fully straight up right there. I mean, the real key to this is just having the structure up. It's withstand the winds really good. Right now, I'll turn you back around here. Down here on this far end wall, this is going to be our access wall. We've got a zipper that we're going to put on so we can just zip that up and down. But for now, really don't need to be in here that much. So we're just going through the sides. I'll go over and take a look in the high tunnel real quick too while we're at it. Okay, here's the high tunnel. Oh, that was a hard latch when everything's cold. But in here, production's doing really nicely right now. It does not get frosted in here. You can tell when it gets cold because the red Russian kale gets dewy. It has a little water drops dripping off of it. You got some mustard greens, red Russian kale, and green mustard greens. A little bit of flea beetle damage. I think I pretty much got them wiped out. We got our lettuces doing great. Our other lettuce is doing great. Got an old growth Salanova in here. We were going to pull it, but it looks like it's coming back again, so we should be able to get a third cut. I mean, we got some disease running through it. But at this point, it's so late in the season that if we plant something, we're not going to get anything in return. Kale, of course, is doing beautiful. Looks like my sidewall did not go down all the way. I'll have to check the limits on that. Looks like maybe just because it gets cold, this plastic shrinks up. And now it's so tight that it's above the hip board barely. Especially down here at this end. With just letting cold air in, but there's enough thermal mass of ground in here that it'll keep this thing warm. It'll keep it above freezing. Hopefully down to about 22 degrees. Down here we've also got a bunch of celery. It's doing beautiful. It's just starting to go. You can see it starting to really go out. We've got a good growth down here in the center. These are planted about 3 or 4 weeks ago, transplanted. These are transplanted more recently. They're looking a little yellow, which means they might not have hardened off as much, or maybe they need some water. Everything's getting a good soaking today. But yeah, so far I'm pretty pleased with it. Looking very nice in here. So far what we're learning more and more about winter production, this trick is having a really good fall, where you have temperatures that go up and down and up and down and brush into freezing and then come back up into the 50s and 60s and continue that cycle over and over again. That way all of the crops have a chance to adjust for the season and harden off. And in that hardening off process, they build up sugars. The sugars act as antifreeze. They keep them from freezing when we have real low temperatures. Now as the light levels go down, we are starting to approach the end of the season, which would be about a 10-hour sunlight cycle. Once we hit about 10 hours of sunlight, that really puts the dampers on things. They just really stop growing. So basically we have to have everything grown by then, and after that we can just kind of wait and then harvest. Things will just sit. Lettuce won't bolt, other crops won't move. They're just kind of sitting basically in the refrigerator just waiting on you. So through the different techniques of finding your last plant date, which is your most important, and then using your different season extension tools, which would be your row cover, that's your simplest. Just put them over single hoops or directly on the crop. Your poly low tunnel, which you saw, which was the conduit hoops going over 2 beds. Then your caterpillar tunnel, which is more advanced. That'll get you quite a ways. You have a lot of thermal mass underneath those, so those can survive more. And then this big grandiose thing that allows us to hopefully go all the way to Christmas. But we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you all updated. Thank you all. If you like what you saw here today, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day.